In the vast expanse of the cosmos, a new power had risen. The Galactic Empire, a civilization of immense technological prowess and military might, had spread its influence across countless star systems. For centuries, they had conquered and assimilated worlds, building an empire that spanned galaxies. Their hunger for expansion knew no bounds, and their eyes now turned towards a small blue planet in a distant corner of the universe. Earth, a world teeming with life and potential, had long escaped the notice of the Empire. But as their scout ships pushed further into unexplored regions, they stumbled upon this hidden gem. The Empire's leaders were intrigued by the reports of a world rich in resources and inhabited by a species that had barely begun to explore beyond their own atmosphere. Admiral Zaxthor, a veteran of numerous conquest campaigns, stood on the bridge of the Imperial flagship, Starbreaker. His scaled skin shimmered under the harsh lights as he studied the holographic projection of Earth. His 6 eyes narrowed, focusing on the swirling clouds and vast oceans that covered the planet's surface. "Interesting," he muttered, his voice a low rumble. "This world seems ripe for the taking. Prepare a detailed analysis of their defenses and technological capabilities." The crew of the Starbreaker, a mix of various alien species from across the Empire, sprang into action. Sensors probed the planet's atmosphere, gathering data on its composition and the electromagnetic signals emanating from its surface. As the information poured in, Admiral Zaxthor's excitement grew. Earth's technology seemed primitive compared to the Empire's advanced systems. Their most powerful weapons were mere toys in comparison to the planet-destroying capabilities at his disposal. "Sir," a junior officer reported, "we've detected numerous artificial satellites orbiting the planet. Most appear to be for communication and observation purposes. Their space presence is minimal, with only a small station in low orbit." Zaxthor nodded, his mandibles clicking in anticipation. "Excellent. They won't pose much of a challenge. Prepare a report for the Emperor. I believe we found our next target for expansion." As the Starbreaker hovered at the edge of the solar system, hidden from Earth's primitive detection systems, the crew began to formulate plans for the conquest of this new world. They were confident in their superior technology and overwhelming military force. Little did they know that Earth was not as defenseless as it appeared. Deep beneath the planet's surface, in hidden bunkers and secret laboratories, humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. The governments of Earth had long suspected they were not alone in the universe, and they had quietly poured resources into developing technologies that could protect their world from extraterrestrial threats. Dr. Emily Chen, head of Earth's secret defense program, sat in her underground command center, reviewing the latest data from their long-range sensors. Her team had detected the presence of the Imperial ships, despite their attempts at stealth. "They're here," she announced to the room of scientists and military personnel. "Just as we predicted. Activate Protocol Omega. It's time to show these aliens that humanity is not to be underestimated." As the Galactic Empire set its sights on Earth, preparing for what they believed would be an easy conquest, they remained unaware of the surprises that awaited them. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the foundations of the Empire and prove that sometimes the most formidable adversaries come in unexpected packages. The fate of Earth hung in the balance, but humanity was far from helpless. They had one chance to send a message to the stars, a warning that would echo across the galaxy and change the course of history forever. As the Galactic Empire's scout ships drew closer to Earth, they began their detailed observations. Commander Vexna, a seasoned explorer with skin like polished obsidian and eyes that glowed with an eerie blue light, led the scouting mission. Her ship, the Silent Shadow, was designed for stealth and reconnaissance. "Approach with caution," Vexna ordered her crew. "We must not alert the natives to our presence." The Silent Shadow slipped into Earth's orbit, its advanced cloaking technology rendering it invisible to the planet's primitive tracking systems. Or so they thought. Deep within the heart of Noraid, hidden beneath Cheyenne Mountain, Major John Cooper stared at his radar screen with a mixture of excitement and dread. The top-secret quantum detection array had picked up the faintest trace of the alien ship. "We've got company, sir," Cooper reported to General Sarah Hawkins, just as Dr. Chen predicted. General Hawkins nodded grimly. "Activate the global alert system. It's time to see if all our preparations will pay off." As the silent shadow began its survey of Earth, Commander Vexna found herself increasingly puzzled. The planet's technology seemed to be a bewildering mix of primitive and surprisingly advanced. "Look at this," she murmured, gesturing to a holographic display. "Their primary mode of transportation still relies on combustion engines, yet I'm detecting energy signatures that suggest much more sophisticated power sources in some areas." Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Czar, frowned. "Perhaps they are not as primitive as we first thought." Vexna shook her head. "No matter. Even if they have some advanced technology, they are no match for the Empire." Continued the survey. As the alien ship circled the globe, humanity held its breath. In every major city, in every country, people went about their daily lives, unaware of the threat looming above them. But in secret facilities around the world, scientists and soldiers worked feverishly, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. In Tokyo, Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka put the finishing touches on a prototype energy shield. In Rio de Janeiro, Colonel Maria Silva ran combat drills with her squad, testing experimental weaponry designed to penetrate alien armor. And in a hidden base beneath the Sahara, a team of international hackers worked tirelessly to crack the Empire's communication codes. Back on the Silent Shadow, Commander Vexna prepared her report for Admiral Zaxthor. "The planet is densely populated, with over 7 billion inhabitants. Their military capabilities appear limited, primarily confined to their own atmosphere. However," she paused, a note of uncertainty in her voice, "there are anomalies we cannot explain. Energy readings that don't match their visible level of technology." Admiral Zaxthor's holographic image flickered as he received the report. "Your concerns are noted, Commander, but irrelevant. The Empire has conquered worlds far more advanced than this Earth. Prepare for the next phase of our plan." As the transmission ended, Vexna couldn't shake a feeling of unease. Something about this planet didn't add up. Her instincts were right to be wary. At that very moment, in a secret chamber beneath the United Nations building in New York, representatives from every nation on Earth gathered for an emergency session. Dr. Emily Chen stood before them, her face illuminated by the glow of a massive screen showing the position of the alien ship. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation, "the moment we've prepared for has arrived. The Galactic Empire is here, and they grossly underestimated us. It's time to show them that humanity is not to be trifled with." A murmur of agreement rippled through the chamber. Years of secret preparations, of buried rivalries and hidden alliances had led to this moment. As one, the leaders of Earth made their decision. "Initiate Operation Trojan Horse," the Secretary General announced. "Let's give our uninvited guests a welcome they'll never forget." As the Silent Shadow continued its orbital dance, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing beneath it, humanity prepared to unleash its first surprise. The Empire thought they were dealing with a primitive species ripe for conquest. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The stage was set for a confrontation that would change the course of galactic history. Earth's first and only warning to the Galactic Empire was about to be delivered, and it would be one the stars would remember for eons to come. As dawn broke over the major cities of Earth, an air of tense anticipation hung heavy. In homes and offices, on streets, and in subway stations, people went about their daily routines, unaware of the alien threat looming above. But in secret bunkers and hidden command centers, Earth's defenders were springing into action. Dr. Emily Chen stood in the heart of the Global Defense Network's main control room, her eyes fixed on the massive screen displaying the planet's defenses. Red dots representing the Empire's ships blinked ominously near Earth's orbit. "Status report," she demanded, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. A young technician spoke up. "All systems are go, Dr. Chen. The quantum shield is at 100% capacity, and our stealth satellites are in position." Chen nodded, a grim smile on her face. "Excellent. Now we wait for them to make their move." High above the Earth, aboard the Imperial flagship Starbreaker, Admiral Zax Thor prepared to launch the invasion. His massive form loomed over a holographic display of the planet, 6 eyes glittering with anticipation. "Begin the attack," he commanded, his voice a low rumble. "Launch the first wave of dropships. Let's show these primitives the might of the Galactic Empire." As the order was given, dozens of sleek, predatory ships detached from the Starbreaker's hull, descending toward Earth's atmosphere. They expected no resistance, certain that their advanced technology would easily overwhelm any defenses the humans might possess. They couldn't have been more wrong. As the first dropships entered the upper atmosphere, a shimmering energy field suddenly materialized around the planet. The lead ships slammed into the barrier at full speed, exploding in brilliant fireballs that lit up the sky. Aboard the Starbreaker, alarms blared as reports of the losses poured in. Admiral Zax Thor's mandibles clicked in agitation. Impossible. How could they have such technology? On Earth, cheers erupted in the control room as the first phase of their defense proved successful. But Dr. Chen knew this was only the beginning. "Prepare for Phase 2, she ordered. "Launch the counter-offensive." Around the globe, hidden silos opened in remote locations, but instead of missiles, they released swarms of tiny drone-like devices. These were Earth's secret weapons, nanobots infused with advanced AI, capable of infiltrating and disrupting alien technology. As the Imperial ships regrouped for another attack, the swarms of nanobots surged upward, invisible to the Empire's sensors. They latched onto the hulls of the alien vessels, burrowing inside, and beginning their work of sabotage. Aboard the Silent Shadow, Commander Vexna watched in horror as system after system began to fail. "We're losing control," she shouted as the ship's artificial gravity fluctuated wildly. "What is happening?" Similar scenes played out across the Imperial fleet. Ships veered off course, weapons systems misfired, and communication channels filled with static. The mighty armada that had conquered countless worlds found itself in disarray, outmaneuvered by a species they had grossly underestimated. Back on Earth, world leaders gathered in an emergency UN session, watching the battle unfold on giant screens. The President of the United States turned to Dr. Chen, who had been summoned to brief them. "How long can we keep this up?" he asked, his face etched with concern. Chen's reply was confident but cautious. "Our defenses are holding for now, Mr. President, but the Empire's resources are vast. This is only the first round of what could be a long fight." As if to underscore her words, a massive energy beam suddenly lanced out from the Starbreaker, striking the quantum shield. The entire room shook, and for a heart-stopping moment, it seemed the shield might fail. But it held, barely. The assembled leaders let out a collective breath they hadn't realized they were holding. "Ladies and gentlemen," Chen addressed the room, her voice filled with determination. "We've surprised them, but the real battle is just beginning. The Galactic Empire now knows that Earth is not an easy target. Our next moves will determine the fate of our planet and our species." As the leaders of Earth debated their next steps, the skies above continued to light up with the flashes of combat. Humanity had delivered its warning shot, loud and clear. Now they had to prepare for the Empire's response, knowing that the future of their world hung in the balance. The Galactic Empire had set its sights on Earth, but humanity was ready to fight back with everything they had. The initial shock of Earth's unexpected defense had thrown the Galactic Empire into disarray. But Admiral Zax Thor was not one to admit defeat easily. On the bridge of the Starbreaker, he paced back and forth, his massive form casting long shadows in the dim light. "Recalibrate our weapons," he roared. "I want that shield breached within the hour." As the Imperial forces regrouped, Earth's defenders knew they couldn't rest on their laurels. In the underground command center, Dr. Emily Chen and her team worked tirelessly to anticipate the Empire's next move. "They'll try to overload the shield," Chen mused, her fingers flying over a holographic keyboard. "We need to be ready." Across the globe, humanity's hidden strengths were revealing themselves. In the depths of the Pacific Ocean, a secret fleet of advanced submarines emerged from camouflaged bases. These vessels, armed with technology reverse-engineered from crashed alien ships decades ago, were Earth's naval trump card. Captain Yuki Tanaka stood on the bridge of the SSN Poseidon, the flagship of this hidden fleet. "All vessels, prepare to surface on my mark," she commanded. "We'll give these alien invaders a fight they never expected." As the submarines rose from the depths, their presence caught the Imperial forces completely off guard. Beams of concentrated energy shot from the vessels, slicing through the hulls of low-flying alien ships with surgical precision. In orbit, Commander Vexna of the Silent Shadow watched the unexpected attack with a mix of horror and grudging respect. "Admiral," she reported to Zaxthor, "the humans have hidden capabilities we never anticipated. This planet, it's unlike any we've encountered before." Zaxthor's eyes narrowed. "It doesn't matter. We are the Galactic Empire. We do not retreat. We do not surrender. Prepare the Nova Blast Cannon." The Nova Blast Cannon was the Empire's most destructive weapon, capable of cracking a planet's crust. As the massive weapon began to charge, alarms blared in Earth's defense centers. "They're powering up something big," a technician reported, fear evident in his voice. Dr. Chen's mind raced. They had prepared for this, but the risk was enormous. "Activate Project Mirror," she ordered, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. High above the Earth, hidden in geosynchronous orbit, a massive satellite unfurled like a blooming flower. Its polished surface, made of a material unknown to the Empire, began to glow with stored energy. As the Nova Blast Cannon fired, unleashing a beam of destructive energy towards Earth, Project Mirror sprang into action. The satellite's surface caught the beam, absorbing its energy for a split second before redirecting it back at the Imperial fleet. The effect was catastrophic. The reflected beam tore through several Imperial ships, including the one housing the Nova Blast Cannon. Explosions blossomed in the silence of space, debris scattering in all directions. On the Starbreaker, Admiral Zaxthor was thrown to the ground by the impact. Alarms blared, and crew members rushed to contain the damage. For the first time in his long career, Zaxthor felt a twinge of fear. Back on Earth, cheers erupted in command centers around the world. But Dr. Chen remained focused. "This isn't over," she cautioned. "We've bloodied their nose, but the Empire won't give up easily." In Washington, D.C., the President addressed the nation, and by extension, the world. "My fellow citizens of Earth," he began, his voice broadcast globally. "Today we face the greatest threat in human history. But we do not face it alone, nor do we face it unprepared. Today we stand united as one planet, one people, against those who would seek to conquer us." As humanity celebrated their first major victory, the Galactic Empire regrouped. Admiral Zaxthor, his pride wounded but his resolve unbroken, began to formulate a new strategy. This battle for Earth was far from over. In orbit and on the ground, both sides prepared for the next phase of the conflict. The Empire had underestimated Earth once. They would not make the same mistake again. But humanity, united as never before, stood ready to defend their home, no matter the cost. The war for Earth's future had only just begun, and the galaxy watched with bated breath to see what would happen next. As the dust settled from the last battle, both Earth and the Galactic Empire licked their wounds and prepared for the next phase of the war. On the Starbreaker, Admiral Zaxthor called an emergency meeting of his top commanders. "We have underestimated these humans for the last time," he growled, his voice echoing in the ship's war room. It's time we show them the true might of the Empire. Meanwhile, in the depths of the Pentagon, Dr. Emily Chen and military leaders from around the world gathered to discuss their next move. The room was tense, filled with a mix of excitement from their recent victory and anxiety about what was to come. We've surprised them, but we can't rely on that advantage anymore, Chen said, her eyes scanning the tired faces around her. We need to take the fight to them. As both sides plotted their strategies, an unexpected development unfolded in Earth's orbit. The Silent Shadow, Commander Vexna's scout ship, had been damaged in the earlier battle and was now drifting, its cloaking device malfunctioning. Captain Yuki Tanaka, aboard the submarine SSN Poseidon, spotted the opportunity. We have a chance to capture some of their technology, she radioed to command. Permission to attempt boarding. After a brief discussion, the green light was given. The Poseidon launched a specially designed space-capable mini-sub. As it approached the Silent Shadow, the Empire's ship suddenly came to life. Inside, Commander Vexna realized the danger. Activate emergency protocols, she ordered her crew. We cannot let our technology fall into human hands. What followed was a tense space battle unlike anything seen before. The human mini-sub, piloted by Lieutenant Jack Harper, dodged energy blasts from the Silent Shadow while trying to latch onto its hull. "Come on, you alien bastards," Harper muttered, his hand steady on the controls. Just a little closer. In a daring maneuver, Harper managed to attach the mini-sub to the Silent Shadow. Cutting tools whirred to life, carving an entrance into the alien ship. Aboard the Starbreaker, Admiral Zax Thor watched the scene unfold with growing rage. "Launch our new stealth fighters," he commanded. "Destroy that ship if you have to, but do not let the humans capture it." As Harper and his team breached the Silent Shadow's hull, a squadron of sleek, black Imperial fighters decloaked near Earth's orbit. They streaked towards the disabled scout ship, weapons hot. Dr. Chen, watching from Earth, realized the danger. "Launch the STR drones," she ordered. From a hidden base in the Gobi Desert, a swarm of small, agile drones took to the sky. These solar-powered tactical assault and reconnaissance STR drones were Earth's latest defense technology, capable of both atmospheric and spaceflight. A furious battle erupted in low Earth orbit. Imperial fighters clashed with STR drones in a dazzling display of aerial combat. Energy beams crisscrossed the sky, while explosive charges detonated in silent bursts against the backdrop of stars. Meanwhile, aboard the Silent Shadow, Harper and his team engaged in close-quarters combat with Vexna's crew. The narrow corridors of the alien ship echoed with the sound of energy weapons and hand-to-hand fighting. "We need to reach the bridge," Harper shouted over the din. "That's where the main computer will be." Commander Vexna, realizing her ship was lost, made a fateful decision. "Initiate self-destruct sequence," she ordered, her voice heavy with defeat. "We die for the Empire." As the self-destruct countdown began, Harper's team finally breached the bridge. In a moment of quick thinking, Harper tackled Vexna, while his tech expert, Dr. Zoe Rodriguez, rushed to the main console. "I need time," Rodriguez yelled, her fingers flying over the alien controls. "I think I can stop the self-destruct, but I need a few minutes." Outside, the battle raged on. STR drones, though outnumbered, held their own against the Imperial fighters. Their advanced AI and unpredictable flight patterns kept the alien pilots off balance. As the clock ticked down, the fate of the Silent Shadow and the vital intelligence it contained hung in the balance. The next few moments would determine whether humanity gained a crucial advantage in the war, or whether the Empire would maintain its technological superiority. The entire world held its breath, watching the drama unfold in the stars above. The battle for Earth had entered a new, even more dangerous phase. The tension aboard the Silent Shadow was palpable as Dr. Zoe Rodriguez worked frantically to stop the self-destruct sequence. Sweat beaded on her forehead as she deciphered the alien technology. "Come on," "Come on," she muttered, fingers flying across the strange console. Lieutenant Jack Harper struggled to restrain Commander Vexna, who fought with the strength of desperation. "Hurry up, Doc," he shouted. "I don't know how long I can hold her." Outside, the battle between STAR drones and Imperial fighters reached a fever pitch. The sky above Earth lit up with explosions and energy beams, a deadly light show visible from the ground. In the Pentagon War Room, Dr. Emily Chen watched the unfolding chaos with growing concern. "We need to buy them more time," she said, turning to General Williams. "Is the Excalibur ready?" The general nodded grimly. "It's now or never, Doctor." Chen took a deep breath and gave the order. "Launch the Excalibur." At a hidden base in the Rocky Mountains, a hangar door slid open, revealing a sleek, arrow-shaped craft unlike anything seen before. The Excalibur, Earth's first true spacefighter, roared to life, its engines glowing with otherworldly energy. Colonel Sarah Maverick Chen, no relation to Dr. Chen, but equally brilliant, sat in the cockpit. "Excalibur launching," she reported, her voice steady despite the enormous pressure. "Time to show these aliens what Earth can do." The Excalibur shot into the sky, quickly reaching the orbital battle. Its advanced propulsion system, reverse-engineered from crashed alien tech, allowed it to maneuver in ways that shocked the Imperial pilots. "What is that?" one Imperial fighter pilot exclaimed as the Excalibur zipped past, taking out two fighters with precision shots. Back on the Silent Shadow, the situation was reaching a critical point. 10 seconds to self-destruct, an emotionless alien voice announced. Dr. Rodriguez's eyes widened as she finally cracked the code. "I've got it," she yelled, inputting the final command. The countdown stopped at 2 seconds. A collective sigh of relief echoed through the ship. Harper, still restraining Vexna, allowed himself a small smile. "Nice work, Doc. Now, let's see what secrets this ship can tell us." As Rodriguez began downloading the ship's database, Vexna suddenly went limp in Harper's arms. "You don't understand what you've done," she said, her voice filled with dread. "The Empire will not stop. They will bring forces you cannot imagine." In orbit, the arrival of the Excalibur had turned the tide of the battle. Imperial fighters, caught off guard by Earth's unexpected technology, began to retreat. Colonel Chen's voice crackled over the comms. "Earth Command, this is Excalibur. Enemy fighters are bugging out. We've won this round." Cheers erupted in command centers around the world. But aboard the Starbreaker, Admiral Zax Thor was far from defeated. His eyes blazed with fury as he watched his fighters retreat. "Enough of these games," he snarled. "Prepare the Worldbreaker. It's time to show these humans the true cost of defiance." Deep within the Starbreaker, a massive weapon began to power up. The Worldbreaker, capable of shattering planets, was the Empire's ultimate weapon, one they had never before needed to use. As the Excalibur escorted the captured Silent Shadow back to Earth, and Harper's team began to unravel its secrets, a sense of victory swept across the planet. But it was premature. Dr. Chen, studying the energy readings from the Starbreaker, felt a chill run down her spine. "Oh no," she whispered, realizing what was coming. She rushed to the command center's main communication system. "This is Dr. Chen. All forces, brace for impact. They're about to hit us with everything they've got." As her warning spread across the globe, humanity steeled itself for the greatest challenge it had ever faced. The Empire's fury was about to be unleashed, and Earth's fate hung in the balance. The next few moments would determine not just the outcome of the battle, but the very survival of the human race. As the Worldbreaker powered up, one question remained. Had humanity's defiance only hastened its doom, or would their ingenuity find a way to overcome even this ultimate threat? As the Worldbreaker powered up, a sense of dread swept across Earth. In command centers worldwide, leaders and scientists scrambled to find a solution. Dr. Emily Chen, her face illuminated by the glow of multiple screens, frantically analyzed data from the captured Silent Shadow. "There has to be something here," she muttered, scrolling through alien schematics. Suddenly, her eyes widened. "That's it." Meanwhile, aboard the Excalibur, Colonel Sarah Chen received an urgent transmission. "Maverick, this is Earth Command. We need you to execute Operation Sunburst. It's our only shot." "Copy that," Maverick replied, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. She turned the Excalibur towards the sun, pushing the experimental craft to its limits. On the Starbreaker, Admiral Zax Thor watched with grim satisfaction as the Worldbreaker neared full power. "Let this be a lesson to all who defy the Empire," he growled. But Earth wasn't going down without a fight. Dr. Chen's voice crackled over global communications. "All defense systems, focus your fire on these coordinates." She transmitted a series of numbers, pointing to a specific spot on the Starbreaker. Around the world, hidden weapon platforms activated. Submarines surfaced, aiming advanced missiles skyward. Even civilian telescopes were repurposed, their lenses focusing deadly laser beams. As one, Earth unleashed its firepower. The sky lit up with a dazzling array of energy beams, missiles, and exotic particles. The Starbreaker's shields flared under the assault, holding but weakening. Zax Thor stumbled as his ship shook. "Impossible," he roared. "How can they have such power?" But the true surprise was yet to come. The Excalibur, now positioned between Earth and the Sun, deployed a massive array of reflective panels. Colonel Chen's voice was tense as she reported, "Sunburst array deployed. Ready on your mark, Earth Command." Dr. Chen took a deep breath. "Now, Maverick, unleash hell." The Excalibur's array caught the full power of the sun, focusing it into a searing beam of solar plasma. This column of starfire lanced across space, striking the Starbreaker at precisely the point where Earth's weapons had weakened its shields. The effect was catastrophic. The Starbreaker's hull melted under the intense heat, and the ship's systems went haywire. The Worldbreaker, on the verge of firing, instead imploded, taking the significant portion of the Starbreaker with it. Admiral Zax Thor, watching his mighty ship crumble around him, finally understood the true strength of humanity. It wasn't just their technology or their weapons, but their unity, their creativity, and their indomitable spirit. As escape pods jettisoned from the dying Starbreaker, carrying Zax Thor and his surviving crew, the Admiral made a decision that would change the course of galactic history. He opened a channel to Earth. "People of Earth," he began, his voice heavy with defeat and newfound respect. "You have done what no other world has managed. You have beaten the Galactic Empire. I, underestimated you gravely." In the Pentagon War Room, leaders listened in stunned silence as Zax Thor continued. "On behalf of the Empire, I offer an unconditional surrender. Moreover, I extend an invitation. Earth has proven itself worthy of not just membership in the galactic community, but leadership." Cheers erupted around the world as the news spread. Humanity had not only survived, but had won a place among the stars. Dr. Chen, tears of joy and relief in her eyes, turned to her team. "Well done, everyone. Well done." In the days that followed, Earth began the process of integrating with the wider galactic community. The captured Imperial technology accelerated human advancement by centuries. Earth's unique blend of technologies and strategies became highly sought after, and human diplomats and scientists spread across the stars. The Galactic Empire, humbled by its defeat, underwent significant reforms. With Earth's influence, it transformed from a conquering force into a cooperative alliance of worlds. And so, the day the Galactic Empire set its sights on Earth became known not as the beginning of humanity's end, but as the dawn of a new era for the entire galaxy. Humanity's warning had been heard, and its message was clear: underestimate Earth at your own peril.